Start of audio description. A sign reads Knife River Indian Village's 50th anniversary schedule of events. Saturday, August 17th, 2024. The sign also lists presenters Keith Bear and Shane Balkowitz and the main stage, education tent, and dance arena's schedules. People talk at tables under a small canopy tent. An audience sits under a large canopy tent.
Knife River Indian Village's National Historic Site is a unit of the National Park Service. Because it's the best preserved Earth Lodge Depression site along the Upper Missouri region, it played a pivotal role in the core of Discovery's success. It was the heart of trade pre-contact.
A logo of an Earth Lodge and an eagle surrounded by text. Knife River Indian Village's NHS 50th Anniversary, 1974 to 2024. Title text. Knife River Indian Village's NHS 50th Anniversary. Indigenous officers carry flags to the front of the audience.
It's the ancestral home of the Hidatsa people. It's a place of international significance throughout history. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention that its value isn't only rooted in the past.
A man with a Stetson hat at a podium speaks into a microphone.
This place is dynamic. It changes. And just by us being here today, we're a part of this story.
The officers walk to a sidewalk. A park ranger. Text. Wendy Ross, Deputy Regional Director of Management and Administration, Regions 3, 4, 5. Former Knife River Indian Villages NHS Superintendent.
What Knife River Indian Villages means to me is this incredible melding of the cultural and the natural resources blending into one preservation aspect.
A man in regalia plays a wooden flute at a podium. People walk by an eagle design that is carved into a building. A man with short white braids. Text. Gerard Baker, Assistant Director NPS, American Indian Relations, retired.
Knife River Indian Villages, or in our language, is Awadigecho. It means a lot to me and to our people. It was our beginning. It was here where we lived a pretty fairly traditional life before the smallpox epidemic.
People walk on a dirt trail. An indigenous man in regalia. Text. Lancer White, MHA Tourism Dance Group.
So this place has great significance to us as Native Americans from the area here. I'm thankful this event is taking place.
A dirt trail leads past a teepee, an earth lodge, a garden, and canopy tents.
They're respecting and taking care of the land here and keeping the history that has very significant meaning to future generations.
A sign with an indigenous woman gardening. Text. Hidatsa Garden. Behind the sign, people walk through a garden. Signs with arrows. Text. Public restrooms, first aid station, drinking water. A table with photos of seeds and a sign. Text. 5 villages. A man sits a smiling baby on a blanket. 2 children smile inside a teepee.
The interest and the success of it, maintaining its history and connection for the visitors is great.
A box of historical items, cloth, furs, and an American flag. A park ranger. Text. Lauren Yellowbird, interpretive specialist, Lewis and Clark National Historic Trail.
So 50 years, let's go another 50 and keep going.
A park ranger. Text. Albert LeBeau, acting superintendent, Knife River Indian Villages, NHS.
I think today is pretty impressive, really. We have a great turnout. People are engaged, and having the former superintendents here is amazing.
A man operates an old film camera. A wet plate photograph of a woman sitting underneath a tree. A crowd of people. A park ranger speaks at a podium and then to the camera. Text. Alicia Deegan, Tribal Relations Specialist, Office of Native American Affairs, former Knife River Indian Villages NHS Superintendent NPS.
Working with the community and the tribal nation, the MHA Nation, has just been something that's really special and something we're going to continue for the next 50 and beyond.
A colorful design on a teepee. An indigenous adult and child in regalia. Dancers in regalia dance on a grassy plain. Sign text, dance arena.
I remember when I was a little kid celebrating the 25th anniversary of this place.
The man with a Stetson hat. Text, Ethan Whitecalf, Superintendent of MHA Tribal Park. A park ranger takes photographs beside empty chairs. An indigenous man teaches sign language. A crowd of people. 2 women selling t-shirts. A canopy tent with an educational poster. A ranger drives a cart.
So just getting to see a lot of old co-workers and a lot of old friends, people I haven't seen in 20 years, and picking up kind of right where we left off. That's what this place does. And as a former staff member, it's a family. So, big family that continues to grow.
People walk by an earth lodge and a teepee. A park ranger. Text. Maureen McGee Ballinger. Deputy Superintendent, Chief of Interpretation, Theodore Roosevelt National Park.
To try and encompass what Knife River means in just a few words, this is difficult. The events have been incredible. Hearing the languages that are the historic languages of the land, that's amazing.
Dancers in regalia talk with park rangers. Sign text. First aid station. A table displays indigenous language posters and pamphlets, prairie turnips, squash, and beans.
This is not my personal culture. I grew up in a different culture. So it gave me an insight to a whole different way of life. And that's a gift that I will always treasure.
An earth lodge. People line up at a food vendor. A man in regalia who previously played the flute speaks. Text. Keith Bear, musician, storyteller, and flute maker. MHA Nation.
I was here for the grand opening about 25, 30 years ago, standing right back here. This is very rich in American history, very rich in family history and tribal history. I'm glad that people from all over America have been here today. And I got to meet several that from overseas because they heard of our story.
A black and white photo of Keith Bear, a park ranger, and an indigenous man in front of the visitor center sign. A photo of a half-constructed earth lodge. A black and white photo of park rangers. A photo of park rangers.
50 years is a long time, so yes, to celebrate this in a good way, America is here. Welcome to North Dakota.
A fire pit in the center of an earth lodge. The logo of an earth lodge and an eagle fades in. Title text, Knife River Indian Villages NHS 50th Anniversary. Credits, Ethan Whitecalf, Paige Baker, Albert LeBeau, Wendy Ross, Gerard Baker, Alicia Deegan, Amy Mossett, Andy Clark, Lancer White, Lauren Yellowbird, Shane Balkowitz, Abigail Fisher, Keith Bear, Maureen McGee Ballinger, Wind Spirit Spotted Bear, Laney Reelbird, Harry Sitting Bear, Mike Bartholomew Jr. Videography, Sierra Moykins, Jacob Moykins. Editor, Sierra Moykins. The National Park Service Arrowhead logo. Text. Knife River Indian Villages National Historic Site. Audio description by Sierra Moykins. End of audio description.